what kind of friend, what kind of person in general watches something like that. But what's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys so much for coming to see what I have to talk about. If you guys are new, welcome as well. Make sure to subscribe and join the Max Squad. So with that being said, I don't want to ramble too much because, as you can tell by the title, this is more of a sensitive story time, and for my viewers, if you've experienced anything like this, I definitely don't want it to be like a comical matter, because this is sometimes detrimental to people's mental and emotional health, and it was for me. So without further ado, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you guys the story. So just to kind of give a backstory so that way you understand where it kind of led up to, I was in high school and I was best friends with this girl named Madison. So I had first moved to Oklahoma, and I think that was in 8th grade. So this group of girls I was friends with from the time that I came to Oklahoma until my sophomore year of high school. So yeah, it was a group of maybe like 5 to 10 girls, and I was the one of 2 light-skinned black girls in the group. Everybody else was either brown skin or dark skin. Now that whole concept will be a big factor into why things happen the way they did. So me and Madison, we'd always hang out. She would come over my house, I would go over hers a couple times, and just throughout the school we were always together. Like every morning when I got to school, she would be waiting for me, and we'd go to breakfast. And if it wasn't her, it was the whole group that was waiting for me to come off the bus or get out of my mom or dad's car, and we'd all go to breakfast together. So we did that daily and whatnot. What I started to notice over the course of the year was that there started to be more talk like, oh, Shariah, being Marie, she thinks she's better than everybody else, and etc., because she thinks she can get all the dudes. And me, I had my eye on one dude. So it was not that type of party. It was not that type of party at all. But all the girls were always at my neck, like, you think you're better than everybody, and etc. And I'm just like, no, I'm very humble. I'm not that type of person. So it was just always constant comparisons between me and other people, lots of judgment, and I just kind of got fed up with it. But that was basically the what's the word I'm trying to look for? I'm gonna just say that was just how it was between me and my group of friends, I should say. So I got pulled out my sophomore year, and I got homeschooled for 1 full semester, and then I came back. So my friendships were completely different. I became more socially awkward, and I just didn't want to be around people. So I was only cool with Madison and what are the 2 other girls I'll name? Madison, Kelly, and Jennifer. So I'm gonna have to remember this: Madison, Kelly, and Jennifer. So Kelly and Jennifer, she was kind of like the type of girl who always wanted to be like me, was always like, oh, hey, twin. And I'm like, we look nothing alike, but what's up? She'd always say because we had the same bra size, we were twins. I'm like, okay, whatever. But Kelly, me and her ended up being closer that year. So everybody knew me and Kelly at that point. So we were both really, really short on 5'1". She was about 5 foot. She was darker skinned, I was light skinned, and we all had fat butts. So everybody just knew us to be the short girls with the fat butts, and we were like an Oreo. So we were just really, really cool. But Jennifer, she started dating this dude, and I'll name him Bryson. Bryson. Yeah, these names are so not even close to what their names actually are, so I'm really proud of that. But besides the point, she started dating this dude Bryson, and the way me and him met was so crazy. Now that I'm thinking about it, he was already an aggressive person. We met my freshman year, and I had a biology class. I was a freshman, he was a freshmore. And if you don't know what a freshmore is, it's basically a sophomore that has to take freshman classes because they either failed it or whatever. So he was a freshmore, so I always made fun of him for being a freshmore. In class, he would choke me and like laugh, and I guess that was his way of expressing that he liked me. Now, I'm not sure if you guys had the same experience as a child, but like I had boys that would hit me and like chase me around and taunt me, and my parents would be like, oh, okay, well, they're just kids, that's their way of showing that they like you. I never thought it was cool to do, but that's how it was. So if you guys understand that, then you know what I'm talking about. But he would just choke me, hit me, and everything else. And I was like, yo, this isn't cool. This is not a normal thing to do. We're in high school, you should know better. You're older than me, for one, you should know better. And if you don't, then that's a problem for me. And I would tell my friends, or like the teacher would see, and they would be like, Bryson, get your hands off her, that's not okay. He would get sent to detention. Whatever the whole situation is called when you get in-school suspension, ISS, that's not what it was called in my school, but that's the best acronym I can give for you. So he would get sent to ISS, and he would get detention as well for putting his hands on me. So for some odd reason, it was just like he ended up in my group of friends. So there was other guys who were in between my group of friends, and he happened to be one of them. So he started dating Jennifer, and I would just tell Jennifer like, hey, you know, be careful because he's extremely aggressive. And she would just be like, no, he's not aggressive, that's just how he is. Like, he's just kind of rough, but I like that. And she was, okay, I don't know why I did that, but she was sexually active way earlier than I was. So I guess she saw it as like a turn on that he was the way he was. And because I wasn't sexually active, it's like, no, that's not what it is for me. He's aggressive and he can possibly hurt somebody. I mean, he's choking me to the point that I'm coughing. So that's insane. So they ended up dating all the way up into my junior year. And I was dating other people, so it was kind of like, I'm going to mind the business that pays me. Whatever's going on between them is none of my business. But for some odd reason, Bryson was reaching out to me, making their business my business. So they were having like fallouts and etc., and he would just come to me like, what can I do to fix it, etc. And because Jennifer was my friend, although I did not like Bryson, I would give him advice like, okay, this is what she likes, this is what I would want a guy to do to apologize. I'm more about so just giving him advice with the best interest of my friend Jennifer. Not because I wanted to talk to Bryson. I had a boyfriend, so it's like, I'm not worried about who you are. I'm only worried about my friend. That's the only reason why I'm having any conversation with you in the first place. My friend Madison, we were no longer as close as we were my freshman year. So Madison, she was very, very messy. Madison was very bored. Didn't have anything really going for herself. And I'm not just saying that to sound bitter and whatnot, but I had started a business when I was 15. That's a whole nother story. I had a popcorn business when I was 15, and she was just a hater. She would not support me or anything like that. She was just a hater, and I do believe it's because I had business of my own and she had none. So when I say I mind the business that pays me, I was minding the business that was paying me, and she had no business to mind except for other people's. So with that being said, she would hear that Bryson was contacting me. She didn't know the full story or anything like that, but she came up with stories of her own. So she would go back to Jennifer and be like, oh, Shariah is talking to Bryson inappropriately, etc., etc. And that caused me and Jennifer to have issues. And because she was so deep into that relationship, she pushed me to the side, not knowing that I was trying to help them. And although I probably could have took her to the side and been like, okay, this is what's going on or whatever, I just was so focused on other things, so I just never thought to do that. But that's besides the point. It was my junior year, and after me and Jennifer started having our issues, I kind of just stopped hanging out with everybody. Bryson, I would see him in passing in the hallways and stuff, and I'd see Madison being the messy person she was, starting drama with other people. I see Jennifer, like I said. I just didn't hang out with anybody. But one day, I was in the cafeteria by myself because I just kind of adapted to being by myself. And Madison, she texted me and she was like, hey, let's talk. Let's meet up in the gym. And because I was by myself, and I was like, well, you know what? I kind of miss my friends, and hopefully I can fix whatever I messed up and we can be cool again, you know? So she texted me, hey, let's come to the big gym. There was two gyms. There was the big gym, and then there was like a small gym. So I go to the big gym, and it's Madison, Bryson, and a couple other guys. And I'll just name them Corey and Mike. I get in there and I'm like, hey, haven't really talked to you in a while. What's going on? And Bryson, he's bouncing the basketball or whatever, and he's kind of walking up to me, and he gives me a hug. And as he's hugging me, he's like kissing on my neck and everything, but like walking backwards at the same time. And he had his like arm around my neck. He had his arm around my, like the back of my head. So my hands are just down, and he's doing that, but he's way taller than me. So while he's doing that, he's kind of like trying to put his head on this side of my neck. And as he's walking backwards, I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, let go of me. This is, and I said, this is not appropriate. you have a girlfriend, I have a boyfriend, and your girlfriend is my friend. Regardless if she's communicating with me or not, that is my friend. I'm uncomfortable. Madison and Corey and Mike, they're just minding their own business, not even paying attention to anything that's going on with me and Bryson. But Madison is just kind of lingering. So this is me and Bryson walking backwards, and Madison is just kind of lingering, following it away, but not stopping anything. So I need to get myself together, because every single time I think about it, I'm just like, wow, like what kind of friend, what kind of person in general watches something like that? But anyway, there was some bleachers like on this side, and then there was a hallway that kind of led to like a back room or whatever. And Bryson is like pulling me back there, and I'm just like, what are you doing? And as I'm trying to walk away, he kind of slams me up against the wall. I'm 5'1", and I'm like 145 pounds right now. When I was in high school, I probably was around like 150. This dude was 6'3" and about 200 something pounds. So he slams me up against the wall, and I don't want to go into detail about everything that he did to me. All I remember is his breath in my face saying, just let go. Just let it happen. And I'm screaming and crying, and by this time everything else is kind of like blacked out. All I can think of is, why is this happening, and why is Madison not helping me? And I see Madison, as I'm like trying to push him off of me and everything else, I see Madison across from me, maybe like 10 to 15 feet away, and she has her phone out. She has her phone out. She had her phone out as I'm screaming and crying, telling Bryson to stop, and asking Madison to help me, and asking why, what is going on, like, what did I do to deserve this? Like, what? Is this actually happening? Is it my fault that this happened? Did me giving Bryson advice for him in his relationship lead him on to think that I wanted something more with him, although I had a boyfriend of my own? These are all the thoughts running in my head as this whole situation is unfolding in front of me, like a complete and utter nightmare. So the bell rings finally, because I don't know how long the situation had lasted, but it seemed like an eternity. Like everything was in slow motion. And they just go about their business. I sat there in a corner for like 15 minutes. I don't even think I went to class. But Madison, Bryson, and Mike and Corey, they just walked their way out the gym. And I sat there thinking, like, this can't be real. So I sat in there for a while, and one of the gym teachers, he came in and he was like, you need to go to class. He didn't know what was going on. I wasn't going to tell him either. I don't trust a man at all at this point. Are you going to do something to me too? Because I'm in here by myself. Because I'm vulnerable at this moment. Are you going to hurt me as well? He says you need to go to class. I got up and I went to the bathroom. And I stayed there for the rest of my school period. Now, when school got out, I don't know if I don't know if I had gotten picked up from school or if I took the bus. No, I took the bus because my mom and dad were at home, and I went into the office. I went into the office by myself because I had a closet that I would go to when I was upset or if I needed to pray or anything like that. I was gonna go to that closet and deal with it by myself because that was not the first time that anything had happened to me, but I did not want to tell my parents because I didn't know what would happen. I didn't know if I was going to get in trouble because, like I said, I thought it was my fault. So I go in there. Before I get into the closet, I just stood there and kind of reflected on everything that had happened. And it was either my mom or my dad. They came in, they said, "What is wrong?" And I just stood there and I was just crying, and they're like, "What is wrong?" And I told them what happened. And I think we got the police involved, but the police didn't do anything. So like, what is the actual point in going to law enforcement if you're not going to do anything? I guess because, like, I don't know, but I ended up going back to school the next day and talking to the principal. And it was a woman that I spoke to. And that's what really pisses me off to this day, is I spoke to another woman about being assaulted, and do you know what she told me? She told me, "Well, did you lead him on? What did you do to make him feel like this was okay?" What? What did I do to be assaulted? But what did I do, and did I lead him on to think it was okay to assault me after I said, "No, I'm screaming and crying"? You're telling me that in some way, form, or fashion, that a man, regardless if he was a man or a boy, I'm a woman, he's a man, whatever the form or fashion, if a woman is screaming and saying no, consent has not been given, I'm screaming no, crying and fighting this dude, that it's possible for me to have led him on to think it was okay to continue. Aside from that, you're telling me that regardless of what happened, that Madison recording and watching is my fault too? What? The end result is that he got suspended for 5 days. And then continued assaulting other women. that is when I became completely antisocial, and I never ate in the cafeteria. I never spoke to anybody unless spoken to, and I stayed in the library to protect myself. And what's crazy is just in January, Bryson had messaged me on Facebook and said that he was going to jail the month following for a rape charge. Not because of me, but because he had assaulted another female. And it was a white female, but law enforcement did get involved with that, and now he's in jail. And all I could say to him was, you deserve it. And then I blocked him. And that is my story of when my best friend set me up to be assaulted. So yeah, I'm in a different and healthy space now. I've gone through therapy, so I don't feel like every man is out to get me, or that all my male friends are going to do something to me inappropriately. Just remember that you need to protect yourself and never feel like it's your fault. If you've said no, even if you have not said no, don't allow these people to make you feel like it's your fault or you're less than. Your feelings are valid. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this story time. I do apologize if this was a little too sensitive for you. I just wanted to be transparent with my stories. I have tons and tons of stories that are funny, scary, and also sad and real, just like this one. So make sure to leave a like on this video. Also subscribe, follow me on my Instagram, as well as add me on Snapchat, and yeah, leave a comment. Let me know if you've ever experienced anything like that, whether you're a woman or a man, because I know dudes who have been assaulted too. So just leave that down in the comments. I'd love to read your stories so that we can connect on that level and continue to support one another. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.